The top stories tonight in Y News. The Department of Foreign Affairs hopes that the Rafah Crossing Border would open this weekend amid the ongoing conflict between the Israeli forces and the Hamas militant group. The Manila South Cemetery manages to handle the influx of visitors this November 1. The Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas offers a promising outlook for the Philippine annual inflation rate in October of 2023. And an Israeli airstrike on the Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza results in extensive damage and a significant number of casualties. In Philippines and the world. Today is Wednesday, November 1, 2023. Join us in the next hour as we deliver today's top stories around the Philippines and in other parts of the world. We are also seen in 1,935 satellite monitoring centers nationwide and via live streaming worldwide through the UNTV News and Rescue social media channels. I am Harding Delgado. First in the news. The Manila South Cemetery has managed to handle the influx of visitors this November 1, with nearly 500,000 individuals arriving in the area. JP Nunez will tell us why.
Based on the data provided by the command post inside the Manila South Cemetery, as of 5 p.m., more than 400,000 people visited this sacred ground in this November 1st. While this number is less than the previously estimated 600,000 visitors, it is a significant increase of over 200,000 compared to the same period last year. The management believes that some visitors came earlier in the preceding days, while others were still in the provinces, accounting for the variance.
Nitong nakaraan, parang mas mababa yung dating ng tao. And then, etong latest, tinitingnan namin yung pasok tsaka kanina, parang sabi ko, parang ang naging tansya ko hindi aabot ata ng kalahating milyon. Yung iba kasi after bumoto, siguro baka nag-ano na rin nagbakasyon na rin. Di ba? Medyo long weekend tayo
With 400,000 visitors, the cemetery remained manageable and no untoward incidents or security threats were reported.
Last year po medyo po tayo kasi pandemic pa po noon. Kaya yung security natin talagang very tight, kaya humaba po yung pila natin. Last year ganitong oras marami na po tayo na itatalang insidente, lalo po yung mga inaatake, tinatakbo sa ospital. Pero ngayon naman po dahil maluwag pa naman po yung ating gate, wala po tayo na itatala.
The visiting hours of the cemetery will remain from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. tomorrow, November 2. The same dedicated security forces, medical assistants, teams, and monitoring personnel will continue to be deployed, assuring the well-being and safety of visitors. The management anticipates that approximately 50,000 more visitors will flock to the cemetery tomorrow. JP Nunez, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
Today, in the midst of rainy and gloomy weather in Manila, a remarkable sight unfolded as over 1 million people visited the Manila North Cemetery. Despite the challenging weather conditions, the situation remained relatively orderly and in accordance with the regulations put in place for the occasion. While the number were substantial, the cemetery did not experience excessive crowding. However, ambulant vendors were not permitted to sell their wares inside the cemetery, a measure aimed at ensuring a respectful and peaceful atmosphere. Moreover, in the midst of this significant gathering, reports indicate that prohibited items were still accounted for, but there have been no reports of theft or untoward incidents, a testament to the community's collective vigilance. In a move to accommodate those who wish to enter the cemetery after the initial deadline, the Manila City government granted an hour extension. However, despite this extension, many still missed the additional time, underscoring the importance of planning and adhering to the established schedule. The Philippine government is keeping a watchful eye on this situation involving Filipino citizens awaiting the reopening of the border in Egypt amidst the ongoing conflict between the Israeli forces and the Hamas militant group. According to the Department of Foreign Affairs, there is hope on the horizon for the border to open soon, which would provide an opportunity for civilians from the Gaza Strip to evacuate. Nelma Ribohok reports.
The Department of Foreign Affairs is holding on to hope that the Rafah Crossing, the vital border link between the Gaza Strip and Egypt, may open this weekend. This development comes in response to the urgent situation involving Filipino citizens caught in the crossfire of the ongoing Israel-Hamas conflict. DFA Undersecretary Eduardo De Vega has reported that there are promising signs on the ground indicating Egypt's readiness to open the border.
Yung positive news nga, maaari, ito sabihin ko na, sana itong weekend nakalusot na.
For those Filipinos who have sought refuge near the border, humanitarian aid has provided them with much-needed food supplies. However, it is not without its challenges as they share this lifeline with other individuals in a similarly dire situation. The DFA official reported that Ambassador Edison Taco has taken the initiative to coordinate with the Egyptian ministry, focusing on the safety and welfare of Filipinos who wish to cross the border.
May positive news ako dahil ang balita is unti-unti nang bubuksan ng Egypt kasi tatanggap na sila ng mga sugatan na Palestinian na walang access sa medical care, no? Kaya ang ating embahador mismo, ang ating sugo sa Cairo, si Ambassador Edison Tago, ay nakikipag-ugnayan sa kanilang Ministry of Foreign Affairs para buksan na yung crossing pati para sa mga Filipino.
De Vega further noted that they have successfully reestablished contact with 126 out of 136 Filipinos in Gaza, assuring that these individuals are safe and unharmed. Regrettably, the remaining 10 are still unreachable due to the ongoing communication blackout. Nelma Ribohok, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
In October of 2023, it appears that the inflation rate in the Philippines is expected to show signs of easing, as per the forecast provided by the Bangko Sentral ng Pilipinas. The projection suggests that we may see an inflation rate within the range of 5.1 to 5.9%. Rosalie Cos will tell us why.
The Central Bank of the Philippines has offered a promising outlook for the Philippine annual inflation rate in October of 2023. According to their inflation forecast, it is anticipated to settle within a range of 5.1 to 5.9%, marking a notable decline from the 6.1% rate observed in September. The central bank points to several factors as the primary sources of upward price pressures in October, including higher prices of electricity, LPG, fruits and fish, along with recent adjustments in jeepney fares. However, these economic fluctuations have real-world consequences for individuals like Jonathan Mateo, a 48-year-old tricycle driver who faces the challenges of a high cost of living. Earning a daily income of 500 pesos, he finds it insufficient to meet his family's needs.
Repolyo pa lang, gaulo ng bata, pumapalo ng 50 pesos o 60. Repolyo pa lang yun.
In response, Jonathan and his wife have turned to selling native rice delicacies to make ends meet in the face of economic hardships. Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
And for the news abroad, an Israeli airstrike targeted the Jabalia refugee camp in Gaza, resulting in significant damage and casualties. Eyewitnesses on the scene reported multiple missiles striking the area, leading to numerous deaths and injuries. The event has prompted international condemnation and calls for a humanitarian ceasefire to provide essential aid to affected civilians. Joselito Liquido will tell us the details live. Good evening, Joselito.
Good evening, LC. An Israeli airstrike on the Jabalia refugee camp in northern Gaza resulted in extensive damage and a significant number of casualties. Eyewitnesses described the horrifying scene with children carrying other injured children and running with gray dust filling the air as recounted by eyewitnesses. The strike left numerous deaths and injuries as multiple missiles struck the area without warning. The Israel Defense Forces, or IDF, claimed that the target was Ibrahim Biari, a Hamas commander responsible for the previous attack in Israel. The IDF alleged that the numerous other Hamas terrorists were also hit in the strike. They also asserted that civilian buildings had been taken over by the Central Jabalia Battalion. However, Hamas denied the presence of their leader in the camp, accusing Israel of attempting to justify a heinous crime against safe civilians, children, and women. As the conflict in Gaza continues, international condemnation has mounted. Saudi Arabia, Iran, Jordan, and Egypt condemned the strike, with Egypt accusing Israel of breaking international law with the inhuman targeting of residential area. The situation has prompted calls for a humanitarian ceasefire to allow aid delivery to affected civilians. The ongoing conflict in Gaza has resulted in significant loss of life, with over 8,000 people killed and more than 21,000 injured, according to the Palestinian Ministry of Health in Ramallah, which draws information from the Hamas-controlled enclave. Hospitals in Gaza are overwhelmed and essential medical supplies are scarce. The situation has created a pressing humanitarian crisis, with millions of civilians trapped in dire conditions, urgently requiring assistance and a halt to the hostilities. Back to you, Elsie.
Thank you, Joselito Liquidor, reporting live from Malaysia. In other news, Italy finds itself in the grip of a ferocious storm as heavy rain pours down relentlessly, unleashing a deluge of rapid floods across the land. Authorities, in a valiant effort, labor tirelessly to pump out water from several inundated areas, battling the elements and striving to bring relief to the affected populace. Paul Gatchalian will tell us why.
A fierce storm has battered northern Italy since Tuesday, October 31, bringing heavy rainfall and violent winds to the region. As a result, Lake Como, the third largest Italian lake nestled at the foot of the Alps, overflowed, leading to the breaching of its banks. Popular tourist attractions, including waterside bars, were emerged, compelling civil protection authorities to initiate water pumping efforts and deploy mobile barriers to alleviate the situation. According to the Civil Protection Agency of Italy, the Seveso River, which flows through the towns of Como, Monza e Brianza, and Milan, also overflowed and breached its banks, rendering certain areas of Milan impassable. In central Italy, Tuscany experienced heavy rainfall of 257 millimeters within a 24-hour period, resulting in floods, fallen trees, and landslides. 6 regions in the north are under an orange alert, while 11 other regions are under a yellow alert. Meanwhile, scientific evidence indicates that as the climate crisis escalates, there will be a rise in the frequency and intensity of extreme weather conditions. Italy is particularly vulnerable due to its geographic location. Paul Gatchalian, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Share more global stories with you later, but for now, back to you, Harleen.
Thank you, Elsie. For those watching our live streaming on YouTube, please click the subscribe button you see on your screen and ring the bell for notification. You may also follow us on Facebook. The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, made a final pronouncement today that there were no failures of elections across the country. Dante Almento tells us why.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has announced the proclamation of all winning candidates in the recently concluded Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan elections, or BSKE. However, Chairman Garcia has made it clear that this proclamation does not apply to candidates with pending cases, as their proclamation remains suspended. Additionally, candidates with tie votes will be proclaimed in accordance with a 5-day notice rule. Today, the poll body successfully conducted the elections in the last barangay of Nag-Uma in Calbayog City, Samar. Notably, the military played a role in ensuring the smooth transport of election paraphernalia utilizing Black Hawk helicopters for this purpose.
Nung papunta na sila doon, nagkaroon ng encounter with armed personnel resulting to the wounding of 5 members of a private armed group. Nahuli yung isa. Ang kalaban nila yung AFP natin.
The voting process commenced shortly after 7 o'clock in the morning and the proclamation of results was concluded before 2 p.m.
100% ako tayo, I would believe the chair would have the say on that. Kasi tinitingnan ko kanina lahat na 100% except sa amin.
Meanwhile, following the canvassing and proclamation of winning candidates, COMELEC has emphasized that there is indeed no failure of elections. Dante Amento, UNTV, News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
The Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, reminds newly elected village and youth council officials to ensure smooth transition as they assume office. This report will tell us why. A maximum of 3 weeks was set by the Department of the Interior and Local Government, or DILG, for the transition of newly elected Barangay and Sangguniang Kabataan, or BSKE, officials. In a forum, DILG Secretary Benher Abalos explains the incoming BSKE officials can assume office immediately once they were proclaimed and took their oath of office. But the transfer of responsibility should be done within 3 weeks.
They could assume anytime. However, for transition purposes, up to 3 weeks.
The DILG also reminds the newly elected officials to sign documents for turnover of properties and records.
Winawarningan ko naman din yung mga uupo, please sign the turnover documents. This is very, very important. Baka sabihin, yung computer iniwan ko eh. Yung pala, wala naman pala. Diba? Iniwan ko na yung mga pera dyan eh. Magturuan kayo bandang huli.
The agency has released a memorandum circular for guidance on the transition of new BSKE officials. For its part, the Commission on Elections backs the imposed transition timeline.
Ang inaasahan po namin kasi talagang gustong-gusto lang magsilpo ng ating mga barangay officials. Maganda rin po yung 3 weeks kasi sufficient time po yan na maiayos lahat. Alam naman po natin, hindi rin madali mag-inventaryo, hindi madali mag-ayos ng finances. Meron po kasi sariling finances ang ating mga barangay. At maasahan po natin na in 3 weeks time talaga pong matatapos na dapat ang lahat ng transition po na magagawa.
Meanwhile, the DILG also reminds the newly elected SK officials to undergo mandatory seminar before assuming their posts as mandated by law. The topics include decentralization and local governments, SK history, planning, budgeting, and the code of conduct and ethical standards for public officials. Abalos says the DILG, in coordination with the National Youth Commission, will supervise the compliance of newly elected youth council officials.
They cannot assume office unless they have undergone this kind of this is mandatory. Kung hindi ka attend, you cannot. Importante kasi baka kung ano-anong gawing planning, baka magkamali, mga bata ito eh.
As of 6 a.m. today, the DILG recorded over 19,000 proclaimed barangay chairpersons in the country, over 122,000 Sangguniang Barangay members, almost 18,000 SK chairpersons, and more than 102,000 SK members. Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God. The results of the third quarter survey conducted by the social weather stations this year reveal a somber reality. A staggering 13.2 million Filipinos, by their own self-assessment, consider themselves to be living in poverty. Gladys Tuabi details why.
The recent findings from the Social Weather Station survey for the third quarter of this year have unveiled a concerning trend. It appears that more Filipinos are now self-identifying as belonging to the ranks of the economically disadvantaged. In June, the survey reported 12.5 million Filipinos who considered themselves as part of the economically challenged population. However, the latest data reveals an increase to 13.2 million Filipinos who now share this perception.
Kagaya sa akin, wala kayong ako lang naghahanap buhay sa amin. Sweeper po. Basta pag kinasa namin kung magkano yung 7,000, pinagkakasa lang po namin kung ano ang mabibili namin. Sa isang araw, minsan kakain din kami ng 2 beses, 3 beses. Ganun lang po. Depende. Depende po sa ano namin.
Nahihirapan ako eh. Kasi ako lang. Ang bubuhay buhay sa mga anak namin, 3. Lumabas ako dito sa Manila kasi yung mga anak ko para buhayin.
Meanwhile, the survey also highlights that there has been a decrease from 33% to 27% in the number of Filipinos who consider themselves as being in the borderline category, which is a noteworthy change.
Sakto lang naman. Kung ako ang tatanungin, ako lang naman din yung naghahanap buhay sa amin. Yung kinikita ko talagang sumusobra pa rin kahit paano.
Hindi ko masabing mahirap, hindi ko rin masabing mayaman. Mga tama lang. Kumikita ng sapat sa pamilya. Nabibili yung lalo sa mga pangailangan ng mga pangpamilya.
Mahirap kung walang trabaho. Pero sa kagaya namin, na kahit papano, nakakaraos-raos naman. Hindi ko masasabing mahirap. Kasi kahit papano, mahirap siguro kasi yung sa gastusin, sa ganyan. Pero kahit papano naman, nababudget naman namin.
In response to these challenges, the Philippine government is taking proactive steps to address poverty in the country. They have adopted a long-term vision spanning 25 years aimed at elevating poverty and improving the quality of life for all citizens by the year 2040. Gladys Tuabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
The Philippine Atmospheric, Geophysical and Astronomical Services Administration, or PAGASA, is closely monitoring the skies as it predicts the possible formation of 1 to 2 tropical cyclones within the Philippine area of responsibility. As we look back at historical records, we find that cyclones in this month often make landfall in Luzon or even reach the regions between Visayas and Mindanao. A decade ago, in November 2013, Typhoon Yolanda or Haiyan left a profound mark on the Philippines, bringing devastation and loss that the nation will never forget. However, it's essential to acknowledge that there are also possibilities that these cyclones may change course, recurving towards the northeastern part of Luzon. Currently, the Philippines is already experiencing the effects of a low-pressure area and a shear line, which are contributing to rainfall in central Luzon, Metro Manila, and significant portions of southern Luzon. The northeast monsoon is impacting northern Luzon, bringing its own set of weather patterns. In a pivotal plebiscite held in Bulacan, the residents have spoken with a resounding no in connection to the proposal to declare San Jose del Monte, Bulacan as a highly urbanized city. Nestor Torres will tell us why.
Based on the results of the certificate of canvass released by the Bulacan Provincial Comelec Office, the no votes have emerged victorious in the highly urbanized city plebiscite, outweighing the yes votes. The no votes totaled 820,385, while the yes votes amounted to 620,707, creating a margin of 199,678 in favor of the no camp. This decision has been made across the 20 towns and 40 cities in 7 districts of the province. Only Kawayan City display a majority yes vote, garnering 61,214 votes for yes and 26,554 for no. According to COMELEC Chairman Attorney George Erwin Garcia, the cost of conducting the plebiscite for San Jose del Monte HUC amounted to a staggering 70 million pesos. When combined with the Barangay Sangguniang Kabataan elections, the total expenditure reached nearly 200 million pesos.
Alam nyo kasi medyo magastos din ang pag-hold ng isang plebisito. Hindi po yun barya-barya lamang sapagkat katulad po nito, napakaswerte na lamang dahil katulad po ng pag-hold natin ng plebisito ng San Jose del Monte, naisabay po kasi sa barangay and SK elections.
Meanwhile, voters have begun to voice their reactions for the results of the highly urbanized city plebiscite.
Siyempre, masaya kasi no yung binoto ko. Tapos mas maganda na intact pa rin yung Bulacan, yung nandun pa rin sa loob yung San Jose del Monte. Kasi unang-una, siyempre sabihin natin yung fund, yung pag-unlad ng Bulacan.
Ayoko pong ang San Jose del Monte, ayoko mapunta po sa Manila dahil yun pang Bulacan na po yan eh. Kasi liliit ng aming sa Bulacan, makaiwalay po sa Bulacan yan. Pangit po.
Despite not achieving the highly urbanized city status, COMELEC has stated that San Jose del Monte still has the option to apply for it in the future as they meet the required criteria. For now, San Jose del Monte remains a city in Bulacan.
So rejected yung proposition o yung proposal na i-convert ang San Jose del Monte, Bulacan into a highly urbanized city. Balik lang po sila sa kanilang present status na isang component city ng Bulacan. And therefore, yung deklarasyon ng pagiging highly urbanized city ng San Jose del Monte was rejected or is rejected by the people of Bulacan.
Nestor Torres, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
In other global news, Canada's Immigration Minister Mark Miller stated on Tuesday that following the largest population increase in the nearly 7 decades, Canada will integrate housing, healthcare, and other services planning into its immigration strategy. The population surged by 2.9% in the 12 months leading up to July 1, 2023, reaching over 40 million, according to Statistics Canada. Miller emphasized the need for Canada to better align its immigration programs, systems, and services with the labor market. The Canadian government faces mounting pressure to address concerns about aiming for an annual immigration target of approximately 500,000 permanent residents by 2025, especially in the face of an affordable housing crisis and rising living costs. This year, Canada's target is set at 465,000. The ministry also highlighted a key aspect of the new strategy, which is to expedite the processing of international student permits for institutions that offer improved housing services and additional support. Miller emphasized the importance of this strategy in enabling Canada to quickly adapt and respond to the growing global humanitarian crisis in a sustainable manner. And those are the reasons behind the news in other parts of the globe. I am Elsie Marcos, live from Auckland, New Zealand. Good evening.
KDR Music House has just released a brand new song, now available in all major digital music platforms. The song, entitled Mahuhula, is the latest creation from the Davao-based band Midsummer. Gladys Tuawi reports.
Once again, KDR Music House treats us to a new musical offering, and this one is bound to strike a chord with many. The song, titled Manghuhula, comes courtesy of the Filipino pop-rock alternative band Midsummer. When asked about the story behind this musical creation,
our song is about overthinking. So sa mga broken dyan na ang daming iniisip, for sure makaka-relate kayo.
According to the Davao-based band, Manghuhula is all about providing a perspective from a woman who has a gut feeling that her partner may be involved in an affair based on the actions and behaviors she observes. It's a theme that many may find relatable, touching on the complexities of relationships and trust. This song was crafted by the band for those who might be going through the challenges of a failing relationship, offering a musical companion to those moments of uncertainty. Midsummer hails from the municipality of Banay-Banay in Davao Oriental, a 5-member strong ensemble. Yesterday marked the official release of Manghuhula under the auspices of KDR Music House, making it accessible on all major digital music platforms. For those eager to explore more musical gems and stay updated on the latest releases that resonate with our Filipino experience, I encourage you to follow and subscribe to the official social media accounts of KDR Music House. Gladys Tuabi, UNTV News and Rescue. We serve the people, we give glory to God.
kasambahay. As the world faces these trying times amid the various challenges and uncertainties, we are inviting everyone to join the global prayer for humanity.
Good day. I'm Brother Eli Soriano of the members of the Church of God International. I want to invite you to join us in a minute of prayer every day to pray for humanity and the whole world as we go through these perilous times. While safety measures like washing of hands and strengthening of our immune systems may help us through this horrible predicament, there is still no precaution or cure more powerful than God's mighty intervention. And we need His intervention now more than ever. It doesn't matter what religion you are in or what denomination you belong. This is an invitation for all the people around the world who cares for the future of their family, friends, loved ones, and humanity as a whole. Everybody is welcome to pray with us. For more details, you can check out the description box below. Thank you very much, and I hope to hear from you soon. May God bless you.
And before we close, we will leave you with a word, giving glory to God. From the book of 1 John, chapter 3, verse 3, it says, "And every man that hath this hope in him purifieth himself, even as he is pure." And those are the reasons behind the news, November 1, 2023. Reasons we deliver to you as they unfold, because we need to know. We will always ask why. I'm Herlene Delgado. We serve the people. We give glory to God.
Nitong nakaraan, parang mas mababa yung dating ng tao. And then, etong latest, tinitingnan namin yung pasok tsaka kanina, parang sabi ko, parang ang naging tansya ko hindi aabot ata ng kalahating milyon. Yung iba kasi after bumoto, siguro baka nag-ano na rin nagbakasyon na rin. Di ba? Medyo long weekend tayo
May positive news ako dahil ang balita is unti-unti nang bubuksan ng Egypt kasi tatanggap na sila ng mga sugatan na Palestinian na walang access sa medical care, no? Kaya ang ating embahador mismo, ang ating sugo sa Cairo, si Ambassador Esidin Tago, ay nakikipag-ugnayan sa kanilang Ministry of Foreign Affairs para buksan na yung crossing pati para sa mga Filipino.
Nung papunta na sila doon, nagkaroon ng encounter with armed personnel resulting to the wounding of 5 members of a private armed group, and nahuli yung isa. Ang kalaban nila si yung AFP natin. So, 100% ako tayo, I would believe the chair would have the say on that. Kasi tinitingnan ko kanina lahat na 100% except sa amin.
Winawarningan ko naman din yung mga uupo, please sign the turnover documents. This is very, very important. Baka sabihin, yung computer iniwan ko Yung pala, wala naman pala. Diba? Iniwan ko na yung mga pera dyan Magturuan kayo bandang huli.
Ang inaasahan po namin kasi talagang gustong-gusto lang magsilpo ng ating mga barangay officials. Maganda rin po yung 3 weeks kasi sufficient time po yan na maiayos lahat. Alam naman po natin, hindi rin madali mag-inventaryo, hindi madali mag-ayos ng finances. Meron po kasi sariling finances ang ating mga barangay. Maasahan po natin yan, in 3 weeks time talaga pong matatapos na dapat ang lahat ng transition po na magagawa.